Hello everyone. In this video, you will be learning to build your first AI agent from scratch using Claude Code. For following along this video, you don't need any technical knowledge or any prior use of AI or Claude Code. The great part, by the end of this video, you will have a working functional AI agent built from scratch using Claude Code. That will be a research agent. Now let's get started. But before jumping directly into the implementation part, I want to help you quickly understand the three levels of working with AI. Then I will talk for less than a minute about the word agentic to make sure you're able to visualize this correctly and have the concept clear about the same, right? So the first one is using ChatGPT. You ask ChatGPT a question or Gemini or Grok or whatever, it gives you the answer and that's the end. Sometimes you may ask it to copy paste the email, summarize the email information and that's all. But that's just using 1% of the total capability with AI or what's possible with AI. You should not be stuck there. The second is what we have done in the last video. We have built a Mac operating system using Fable 5 and Opus 4.8. We give the instruction one by one as a chain of thought prompting and we got the output. But the problem was the AI was entirely dependent on us. We need to micromanage the AI step by step. It can't execute on its own the next steps. That is what is getting changed in the agentic workflow or AI agent. Consider or visualize AI agent is someone as an experienced employee that knows the context, that knows what you're expecting and will take the set of series of steps to give you the or help you accomplish the outcome. That is something like this. There are three important things that are involved in an agentic workflow or an AI agent. It follows a process. For example, if you want to build a research report, right? It need to follow a process right from going through the resources, going to internet, finding those resources, researching about the topic, creating a plan and 10 such steps to make sure the outcome is well accomplished in a way that will satisfy the expectation that you have when it is giving you the actual result. That is very important. It follows that. All the agentic workflow will follow that. All the AI agent will follow that. It takes the decision on the go. It will require to take a lot of decisions. That can be about choosing the tool. That can be about executing the next step. That can be about skipping some steps. If some steps fail and so on, it will take all of those on the go. The other thing is it asks before it assumes. For example, if it is creating the report on a topic and it feels there are 10 ways of writing this report, it will ask you what you're expecting out of it. And it will go on that way, not assuming and giving you a random output. These are the things. And when we talk about when we're building the first agent, the possibilities are endless. You can build a personal assistant, you can build a research agent, you can build a mail summarizer, you can build a daily habit tracker and so on. This can be anything. But the important thing is you know how to build it, the process. Once you know the process, you can build anything out of this. And again, when you're following up on this video, make sure you are understanding why we are doing all these steps one by one and not exactly trying to learn the steps or by heart the step, but understanding the fundamental concept behind each of those steps. Because next day, if the tool change, for example, you want to build your first agent in Claude Code, not Codex, you can apply the same steps and will be able to build the first agent there as well. So now let's get started. And the first step that we need to do when we are trying to build a first agent using Claude Code, we need to go to Google or Chrome, any of the browser that you have and type VS Code. Once you do this, you will be able to see the website. VS Code, you will get into it and would be downloading the VS Code as per your operating system. That can be Windows, Linux, Mac. I have Mac with the Apple Silicon chip. I have installed this. Once this is installed, once you open it in your browser, in your system, you will be able to see a screen like this. The Visual Studio Code is simply a code editor or a IDE. What does it mean is you have three options of using Claude Code in general. Claude is a coding model or coding assistant. You can use this or access this via something called terminal. This is the terminal or command prompt. If I use Claude in this, it will be very difficult for me because I need to learn all the commands, all the script that I need to do one by one to create the file, to delete the file and so on, right? It will be little difficult for me because I'm not I am not consider myself to be something a crazy developer. So I don't follow this. The second option that I have is using Claude Code is something as Claude desktop app. Here we can use all these things. It will create the folder. It is great. But in this, the problem is when you see all these steps, I'm using this in the VS Code. The problem with this Claude Code app is it doesn't give you solid or extensive control on what you're building and also not give you the clarity about the files, the permission to edit them and a lot of other things. That's why we follow Visual Code Studio. Visual Code Studio is simply a coding editor which will let Claude Code write code on our behalf edit the file, do everything, and give us a control to view everything end to end and can edit anything, whatever we want. Right? For high level, when you see this, right, all the thing, the very first step you will do when you get inside what Visual Code Studio is going to the extension tab. When you see this block section, you will click on this, you will go to extensions. In the search bar, you need to type Claude. Once you type, you will be able to see the first getting highlighted. It makes sure when you're installing, it should be built by anthropic.com, because there can be chances of malicious extension that can affect your system or your personal data. Don't use it. Make sure you're following this, and you can also verify this by this particular number. Once I install this, you will be able to see a icon, a Claude icon is getting popped up on the right top corner of my screen. When I clicked on this, the Claude Code is ready to use. I just need to log in into this. So I'm closing this, I'm going back to files. You can see the Claude Code is there. And for you, if you're logging in for the first time, it will be something like this. You will see this screen when you're first time installing Claude extension in VS Code, right? And there are three ways for you to log in into Claude extension before you start using the Claude Code in the VS Code. You can either use the subscription that you have, maybe Pro, Team, or whatever plan you have. This you will have some credit in the API. You can use that. Third is through third party. So just for simplicity, you can have a $19 plan as simple as that to start using Claude Code. That is best and most cost effective as well. If you need on a higher range, you can go to Max plan. I have a Pro plan right now to start using that. When I click on Claude AI subscription, it will redirect me for authorization on the browser page. When I clicked on this, you will see a browser page is popping up. It is asking me for the permission to authorize this, and it will show a successful message, and here we are good to go. You can see the screen is changed, right? Now let me, I can quickly close this, and here I can say a quick hi, and this would be work. If the authorization is successful, it will be giving a response, hey, how are you doing, and whatever. So right now what happened is we didn't create any project, right? We didn't create any file. There is no project here. That's why it is saying there is no memory file. What do you want me to do? So after doing the first step, or let me make sure we all are on the same page before we move forward. What we have done is, the first thing is we have went to VS Code website. We have downloaded the VS Code. We have opened it, and we have installed the Claude Code extension from the extension sections here. Once it is installed, we clicked on this icon. Once this was there, we basically /login. We logged in into it, and it was ready to use. Now let's start building the first agent. This was the system setup. This was done. Now let's start building the first AI agent in Claude Code. For the same, I'm clicking on this file icon, and the very first thing, whenever you create any agent or automation or any project using Claude Code, you should create a separate folder so that all the file can be edited, created, or operations will be done in that particular folder only. Then I clicked on, either I can click on this particular open folder, or I can go to files from the menu and I can create an open folder. I don't have any folder already built. So what I will do is I will create a new folder by clicking on this, and let me name it as first AI agent, right? And I open this. Now you see a folder is here. You can see in the file explorer part, this particular section, this particular left side section of this, all the files which will be created by you or Claude Code will be shown here inside this folder, right? That is one thing. This is a native AI agent for writing code by Microsoft GitHub Copilot. We don't want that. That's why I'm closing this. Again, I will click on this Claude icon to open my Claude Code extension. You can see this is here. I'm closing this tab. Now, after setting up the folder, the first important thing that you need to do is creating a Claude.md file. You will hover here on this folder, and you will be able to see a plus icon, create a file, new file, right? I name it as Claude.md file. I will tell you what is this about. Basically, whenever you onboard or hire a new employee, you give them a set of roles and responsibility in the written manner, that you have to do this, you're working for this company, this is the product we sell, as simple as that, right? In the similar manner, when we are creating an AI agent, it is a AI employee for us, as simple as that, and we want it to know who it is working for, what is their role, what rules they need to follow, and what is their core job, as simple as that, right? So let me take you to the deck for a second, and here in the deck you can see we have done this part. Now we are here, right? So the first thing that I'm doing is I am building the Claude.md file, setting it up first. there are four important sections, four core sections that we'll be working on. First is project context. So let me copy this. I'm writing this here. What I did is I created a Claude.md file in the first AI agent folder. As soon as I click hash, I paste it here. Project context, what this project is about, and I will paste this and I will tell you what did I write. So we are saying this is my AI agent workspace. I use it for research, content creation and productivity workflow. I told it in a very simple manner what is the context of the project. This is the first section of the Claude.md file. Then when we talk about the second section, as I told before, if I am hiring a team member who will be working with me, then I need to tell this team member about me, who I am, what I do, and when you are reporting to me, what you should consider or keep in mind, right? Then I'm writing this. I create content about technology. My audience want practical jargon-free output. Very simple, straightforward. Now, when we talk about the rules, right? So here are the rules that it should follow. The rules are very simple. The first rule that we are talking about is always ask clarifying question before starting a complex task. This is very important. Why we are doing this? Because every time when Claude try to execute something, we don't want it to waste a lot of token and then come back to us and tell me what should I do this? I'm not able to figure out something like this, right? So we are telling it, if a task is being assigned to you, you should ask the question in the first place before trying to execute this. There is another way of using plan mode here. I will also talk about this in a minute, but let's complete the Claude.md file first. I will copy paste all the rules, then I will explain you all of them. Yeah, so we have completed the rules section. The first I've already explained, clarifying or asking question before starting a complex task. Show your plan and steps before executing. Again, this is the second step. Even if you have understood what task did I assign you, you should tell me the plan of action. What are the steps you're going to execute before executing it. This is very important, so I can double check if it should not do anything wrong, especially when I'm asking it to build a workflow, not just doing a task, but actually building a machine that will do n number of tasks. That is very important. Now keep output concise, bullet points over paragraph. This is general writing style. Show all the output files to the output folder. It will create the output folder. There is no output folder. You can focus on this here. It will show you. I will show you once it is created, and then telling us or mentioning all the resources from where you have got the content or any material out there. Right now, the last thing is the project structure. What I want is every time when my research agent that I'm building will be creating any kind of report, it should create in a separate folder. All the instruction file should be in a separate folder. All the .md file should be in a separate folder. That's why I'm creating a folder structure. I will explain you this. For all the slash workflow, this is a folder and this is the type of file that it should contain. Then next, this is the output folder name. This is all the files that it should contain here. And this is the resource, all the resources should contain here, right? So this is very simple, straightforward Claude.md file. If you don't do this, right, to remember, if I don't do this, just for a second, right, for 1 second, just consider I deleted this entire file, right? And I've closed it. It is saved, but I don't want anything. And I am saying hi, right? I just write a very simple hi. See what the output will be. First thing that it does is it go to memory.md file that doesn't exist and try to read it, and it couldn't find anything because it's nothing like this. The second file that it try reading is a Claude.md file. It is also empty, right? Now it is saying, hi, this looks like a fresh project. The directory has only one empty Claude.md file. What do you want me to work on or build? This means this fresh Claude session doesn't have any context about who I am, what I'm talking about, what I want to build, right? Now, I pasted this, I saved it. Now I'm saying hi again. You can see the difference in the response of Claude. This I'm doing to help you understand the importance of Claude.md file. Now, it didn't read again, right? Now let me clear this session, right? Let me say clear. It is clear. Now I'm saying hi again. Now it is not saying that I don't have anything around this or whatever. It have the context a little bit about this, but it didn't talk about this right now. And if I give it the next prompt about building a research agent or research workflow, then if I don't do this, this will go very vague, very clueless, waste a lot of token. So Claude.md file is a guiding roadmap for all the agentic workflow agent that you're trying to build in Claude. You should not miss that at any cost when you're starting, right? After setting the Claude extension, after creating the folder, this should be your first step. Now coming back to our that very quickly. We have done this part. Now let's see a quick tips around this. The first one is without Claude.md file, generic wall of context. One vague question, no structure. It will give you very vague responses, very vague output that won't be of no use, and also it will waste a lot of tokens. The other thing is with Claude.md, it will be very structured, everything that will show in a second. Now let's talk about something very important. There are 3 layers that make agentic workflow work. What I've done right now is I created a very simple recipe or set of instruction that every time Claude will follow whenever I start a new session. If I ask Claude to do something right now, the number one step that we'll do is go through Claude.md file as the single source of truth every single time we start this session. We need to keep this in mind. So if you want Claude to think about something, that who you are, what you do, what this project is about, what things you want Claude to keep in mind before working on project, you should put it here. That is there. This is the single, and similarly, the workflow that we build, Claude will create a same kind of file for that workflow also, that we'll see in a few seconds. The second layer is Claude Code itself. The first is this instruction. The second is Claude itself, which is an agent trying to execute things on your behalf. The third layer that comes is about tools. Every time when you ask Claude to do something, it will be dependent on the tools to execute it. For example, using bash command to write files, create files, delete files, and so on. Dependent on web search tool for finding the data from internet, dependent on Salesforce, for example, if you want your sales data to be inside this, and so on. This is very important mental model to understand. Claude has 3 layers of working. First is your .md file, clear set of instruction in markdown file. The second is the agent itself, that is Claude Code, reading all those instructions in a very solid manner and adopt to it on the go. It is that it's smart enough. Then the third is a tool. Now let's talk about the plan mode. We'll come to this. Now we want to build something with Claude, right? We have this roles and responsibility ready that we went to Claude. Let's close it. We come back here. You see this is your Claude window, right? You see there are these number of lines selected, this slash commands, there are a bunch of slash commands. You can explore them one by one. If you want to schedule something, you want to review, simplify, there is something very important that I can show you as compact. If you run, for example, if you see this is, in some places you will see how many tokens it is being consumed by Claude. If it is more than 90-80% and you want to renew the session, right, you can compact it. It will create a summary of the entire whole conversation and you are able to continue your work. I will discuss this in the follow video, in this video if possible. We come to this. The important thing that we want to talk right now is this modes of Claude. The first is auto mode. Claude will automatically choose the best permission mode for each task. For example, if Claude feels that this task is less important, it will do it on its own. If we feel something is important, you take your permission to do that. I'm not sure if this is crazy good right now, but what I use is mix of all these 3. The first is plan mode. Every time when I'm discussing something with Claude and I don't want it to waste any tokens before and don't start implementing, first is to tell me the plan. I customize it, curate it, then it should start working on them. That's why I use the planning mode. Basically, you are planning. It's pre-development phase. The second is edit mode. It will automatically edit all the things required on the go without asking you. It will ask you before editing anything, right? So let's come to the plan mode and let's ask Claude to build. The first thing that we want to do is our agent. For this, I have a very simple prompt. That is, I'm saying this part and I'll read it for you as well. I'm saying, Claude, I want a workflow where I can give you a topic, you research it, organize the findings, produce a clean structured report, ask me clarifying question before starting. This is basically we are asking. Let me curate it a little bit. I want it to build a workflow. I don't want it to do it right now. I'm building an automation using Claude. That means whatever the output that Claude will give me, I can reuse that system multiple times, even can export it, take it to other systems like Codex and Quinn and other things. That's why I'm clarifying this. I want you to build a workflow where I can give a topic, you research it, do it, and so on, and ask me the clarifying question. Let's plan it first and see what Claude come back to us with. Whatever you see, so Claude have around 1,000, 2,000 keywords like this. It keep on showing, it's popping up on a screen. Very engaging, and this is one of the new mode of a progress bar kind of thing. You can read all the thing. It will give you some insight how Claude works. This is basically Claude talking to itself, telling whatever the command we have given. It is describing them in a more appropriate manner, in an extensive manner, and able to take the action on top of that. So it did this is step number 1, step number 2, then it is taking its on step number 3, then it is using a bash command to write some files or understand what are the folders. It is reading those files, then it is reading bunch of other things. So here so far we have given the command to Claude that what I want is you to build a workflow that will help me do the research in a following format, and it is in the plan mode, so it is still planning things around, trying to make a plan for itself, also to show us that what steps it will take further to accomplish the goal. That's the beauty of an AI automation or working with something like Claude Code, that you give it a task, it plan out things, it will tell you, you just approve it, it will build the things end to end. And once you start using a system like this, it is very difficult to go back to your traditional workflow or system, because there you know that you are micromanaging things. You are you are basically the executor, but here you are the orchestrator who is trying to just orchestrate all the thing, and they all are executing. The Claude Code is executing all for us. You can see this starting with a bunch of other thing what they need. Now it is asking us a question. Let's read them and understand the workflow of Claude when you are trying to build your first agent with Claude, right? How do you want to kick off this workflow each time you have a topic? It is saying like you want to use, what is the way how you want to trigger or start your agent or this workflow when you will give it a topic. I'm saying plain English request. I will give it a plain English request. I don't want any slash command because it is difficult to recall when you have multiple workflow. And I'm saying I don't need any word doc because it will take possibly take a lot of credit. I don't want it. I just want my markdown file, because in Claude I will show you we have a by default mode where we can see this doc from markdown file to normal format. I will show you that. And the depth of this, I need a standard report. I want both. I want it to check the resources as well as the other things, the live web search as well. It asked me a couple of questions, because when it is trying to plan building the workflow, it need to take our input so that it can plan well, because it will use that plan, the build plan, as a blueprint for itself to build it from scratch. That's why it asks us all the question where it was not sure. That's the point that we were discussing. That's one of the important building block of Claude, that it ask you the questions, right? It asks before it answers. It takes decision. It took the decision to ask us the question. Then it follows the process. It is following the process one by one, going through all our entire data, using the folder, using the file, and taking things forward. It is still thinking. It will take couple of seconds, and then it would be ready. Now that's the video of this. See, imagine this. Claude is talking to itself, saying, I need to exit. I need to invoke the exit plan mode to get this approved. It need to get out of this plan mode, exit it, so that it can ask us if we approve this plan or not, right? This particular thing is ready. I've opened this. So now when I clicked on this output, this is in the markdown format. This is for sure difficult to read, but this is very important and comforting to Claude to understand and move forward. But when I click on this button on the top right corner, you see this third last button, open as preview. When I clicked on this, you can see this is perfectly ready for me to read and understand before approving it for Claude to build my first workflow agent, right? Now, here it is having bunch of things: plan, topic, research, structured report, workflow. It compiled all the information that we passed down to either in the Claude.md file or the question that it asked me on the go. Then what will be the approach? It will consider these folder structure before creating anything, so it can put the right document in the right place. It will write this research report.md. This is an instruction file for Claude. Whenever asked to research a topic, it will follow that particular research report.md file to follow the rules. How it will trigger every time when I ask Claude to do a research, it will be triggered. That means I will also tell you one very important thing. The great thing happen is this is a plug and play template kind of agent. Once you build this here, if you are building second agent and if you want to do research there, you can just copy paste the files that it will build here that I will show in that template, and you're good to use the same rules that you set for this research agent. Then this is the outline that it will create, then the research it will do, then there is organizing the files, then writing the report, how it will write the report, and where it will save this, and how it will update. Add a short pointer to the workflow, which is actually discovered since Claude.md load automatically in each session, but files in that workflow doesn't unless referred. So now it is saying it will need to update Claude.md file when required with respect to this, and this is a verification. It is asking me to verify this thing, but what I want is I don't want to approve it. I want to add something to this, because I feel there are two things that we can add, right? Let's go to this particular thing. So you can say, it was great, right? It built the entire plan out there. But what we want right now is we want it to add, let's say, I want it to add to crazy Twitter short post at the end of the report about this on X. I want it to add to crazy Twitter short posts at the end of this. Every time when I research about a topic, what I do is I put it on x.com in order to tell the world in a very short manner what is the insight I have, and then I write the entire x.com blog or article about this report. Crazy short post at the end of the post to tweet about this report's best one to do insights. Hey, this is what I want. Once it will add here in the plan, I will be ready to approve this. You can do similarly if you feel there is something missing. For example, executive summary is missing, analysis is missing, summarization of some particular numbers are missing. You can do this, and then you will be good to start using the same. I'm waiting for this. Yeah, now it added. It is saying it added. I'm opening the updated one. You can see again, this is the markdown format. I clicked on the preview and I should be able to see this. Yeah, you can see that tweak this section is there. I opened the wrong report. The previous one it was open, but I was not able to see this. Now produce a markdown report in output format with the source section and tweak this section draft post type. Now this is having the basic structure about whatever I want. This is also the part source, practical takeaway, key finding, this and this. And now let's say I also want also add executive summary at the top. I did this as the last thing. I want executive summary at the top. Then key findings, because yeah, you can see this is edited, executive summary is added here, then all the structure are same, right? 1 second, let me reopen this. Now I can say I have the executive summary. Now I'm ready to approve this. Once I approve this, what it will do is it will start to proceed building the AI workflow or agent that will be acting as a research agent for me throughout now in the next time. I don't need to set any rules, anything. I will just need to give the topic. Let's approve this and we'll wait for it to build. Once it is built, we'll come back and start testing it end to end. The one important part that I want to highlight is once we have approved and when Claude is working on this, it created its own to-do list, and every time when it is completing the task, completing the work that it itself assigning to itself, you can see this is a strike through. This is it's working on currently, and then this is left, and then it will update the to-do list. So this is working like a human, and that's the best part about Claude, or most important feature. You can also see the particular to-do list, and you can see if this is right or not. You want to add anything, and this will also help you understand how Claude is thinking and double check everything if you want. Right now it says setup done folders. It took around 1 minute to complete this. It is done, and when we see this part, this first thing is created, the workflow, clarity, outline, research, organize, all these things are ready. This particular research report.md file is ready. Added a pointer, new active workflow. It also updated the Claude.md file that we created. So let's check this one by one. We open the Claude.md file. This is the section that it updated on its own, telling it will be executed when a topic is given to Claude. The second is workflow research report, right? Here you can see the workflow is here. This is the workflow that Claude will be following when we'll be assigning it a task. Again, let's see the preview of this. This is the step 1, step 2, step 3. This is the recipe that we were talking about that Claude uses for itself as a single source of truth when a task is assigned to it. Right? And all the output that will happen will be coming here. Now let's test this. Our workflow is ready now. Let's test this. So now what will happen is this folder you are seeing, right? This folder is your first AI agent. That is a research agent based on the whatever the conversation we had, whatever we build, it will follow all the rules. We'll give you the research report at the end. So let's test the agent, run the agent end to end, and I'm copying this part, right? I'm copying this part, and let's say I'm telling it to research the current state of AI agent in 2026. What are people using them for? What's working? What's override? What things are heading to? Right? I will give this, and now I don't need to tell, curate, or do anything. Right from now, it will just directly generate the report. I can give it the instruction to update the curation of either the format of the report, the flow of the report, the structure of everything. It will be updating in the research report.md file or Claude.md file wherever required, and will be making sure that next time I don't need to do this. Let me put this. Now it start working on building the report. Again, it started thinking, right? If we go here, it is using this amount of token based on the input that is giving to itself, or the prompt that we have given. It is talking to itself. The user want me to research the current state of AI covering these things. And now this is the great part. When you see this line, I recognize this. It fits my research report workflow. So I should start by clarifying a couple of questions. We told it, right? We told it here that you should ask me the question wherever you need. Similarly, we have did this here also, that asking the question wherever needed. Like every time when we did this, anything specific to include it or prioritize, you can ask it to the user instead of assuming or doing anything. So here it is asking me, should the report focus on a particular side of agent or cover the landscape broadly? Saying I want to cover this on a broad level. I want it standard. I've submitted the answer. This is the only thing that Claude needed from me. If I could put it here itself, if I edit here, don't ask me the question also and update this will follow that throughout this. Now, I think it may be coming to your mind why you cannot do this from ChatGPT or Claude Desktop or directly. Just imagine if you want to email this report also. If you want to do 10 different things here itself, inside this all are possible. This will become a complex agent, have multiple sub-agent and so on. This is a very simple example of how an agent is built. The possibilities are endless, and that may not be possible in other places like ChatGPT or directly when using with Claude. Now it is taking my permission to do this, allowing to searching for this query on internet, because I didn't allow it to do it on its own. It should ask me every time it is doing it. Then you will see it will be asking me the same thing couple of times. We can auto approve this also for not doing it manually. This is the second one, this is the third one, this is the fourth one, this is the fifth one. What it did is created all these questions itself. After my input about the prompt or generating a report, it will be doing a Google search on all of these topics individually, finding the reports, the blog that I will show you as well, and then finalizing the input from there, and will be coming up with the final reports. The report is ready. You see the report is saved to output. As I told you, the output, it is here, and here is the bottom line. The adoption is loud but shallow. Almost everyone claims to have developed the agent, but only 11 to 11% have actually live in the production. That's very true. That's very true. And let's read this report also. I clicked on this report. You see again, this is in the markdown format. I don't want to read here. I want to view in the preview section, preview part, right? Here is the report, the state of AI agent in 2026. What's real, what's hype, what's next. This is the TNDR. AI agent went mainstream 2026 and all about this. This is the executive summary that we added. Similarly, have a very solid source section here. The key findings is very important. If you read this yourself, this is like crazy, insightful, and deeply researched. What people are actually using agent for, what's working, what's hyped, what things are heading to, what practical takeaway, then sources. Now I want to highlight the sources part, because a lot of people think that AI can make mistake, and it's very less likely that as a human, as a senior leader, you will rely on AI. So when I clicked on this enterprise AI adoption 2026, you will see a report will open. This is a writer's room report. This is a very deep, insightful report generated by this organization. And if you see the date, this is pretty latest, right? Similarly, if you see this particular thing, this is published by Deloitte. Let it load. This is published by Deloitte, and you can see this is the insight or the report that is there. Again, this is latest, and you can see this 4 hours AI. This is another blog. All these are real authentic sources from where it took all these insights. For example, you see it's agentic report, right? May 2025, May 25, 2026, and all these are here. So this is how generated, and this is the tweet section that it have. Now, just imagine if you don't want this, right? If you don't like this, and I want you to edit to date the research report.md. So what I'm asking it to do is, I'm asking it to basically update this part. I don't need this. I need just one liner, and I want to update this particular curation in this here also, because next time when I will generate the report, I don't want it to update the same thing. I give it this particular input. What it will do, it will give me the report again with this updated part. Not just that, it will update this here also in a way that won't need me to ask it to do the same thing again. You see, this is too short pencil line. You see, this will be updated. This started working. It is editing this part. First it is editing the report. You see, this was there, and now it will be editing. So what we told it is, we told it to basically, let's see, 1 second. Okay, so this updated this part. The tweet is now two single sentence or one liner. Then this saying the workflow template, step number 7, now specific one-liner format. So future force follow this. So this is the beauty. It will keep on updating and getting evolved for you. If I see this here, this is the report. Now this is shorter and kind of one-liner or 2 sentences. Similarly, it is being updated here. So this is your agent ready. Now let me tell you how you will use this, right? So just imagine if you have closed the Visual Code Studio and you want to use it again, you will simply open this. You will simply open the folder. You will go here. You will open the folder from here. You will open this folder simply, and once it is open, you will see something like this. You will see something like this mostly, and you just need to click on any file. Let's you click here, you will see, find the icon of Claude Code, and now you can start using this report and give it another topic, and you are good to go with it. Like for example, if we do this, generate a report on Anthropic IPO updates, right? 2026. If I give this, it will start working on this and you will see the same thing because it is in that folder. It is thinking that I need to follow this report. Let me check the workflow. It is seeing this workflow. That means first is it reading what are the files included in this folder. Any of this is applicable to this. Now, as we have told earlier, it is asking me a couple of questions. How you want it, whom you are writing it for. Let's say we are writing it for general purpose. I want it very short and I've submitted this. It will start working on this and you will see the same format as the previous report was. That's the building something as an agent that will work for you for n number of times without you being to repeat your instruction or yourself. Now I'll go ahead with the outline. So it gave me the outline. It is just confirming the outline with me once, and then I can say go ahead. That's another thing it can. So if I wanted to edit, let's say I wanted to do it another 4-liner, I could have added in that answer and it would be able to give me the output of the same. Here you see the second research report is ready. This is the key takeaway of the same, and this is saved to again this output folder. Here when I clicked on this, you can see this is presented in the markdown format. When I click on this preview, I will able to see the entire report in the very same format as we created the first one. And this is the tweet. We have updated this in the last one. And when you click on any of this report, you will see again, it found a very relevant sources and updated one in order to present the same, right? So this is the first agent that you build. Now I quickly want to talk about the common mistakes that you should avoid and the pro tips for the same to build your agent and continue this journey. Now, one more thing, you just need to think about all the important things in a way that what you can automate now. When you have seen, you can build a research report that can keep on going work for you. And in few minutes, passively, you just need to put in the output, get the report, read it and verify it and update it on the go as per your requirement. That will keep on improving and will be lifetime with you, right? Now, the common mistakes or the 5 fixes that we'll talk about. The first is make sure you don't avoid the Claude.md file, because if you put this 2 minutes to help Claude understand about you, about the context of the project, a little bit about the rule that you want to follow, and whatever you feel could be important and helpful for Claude, to consider this or keep this in mind when building an agent for you or building the report for you or the output or whatever the goal is in processing. This can exponentially change the quality of the output. So don't miss this. It's very important. Don't be vague. Every time when you're giving the input either to accomplish the task or build the workflow, make sure you're as specific as possible. Because if you don't, then if Claude may not be asking the questions, if you didn't define telling Claude that it should ask the questions from you when they need to know or clarify something, the quality of output again will degrade because of this. Not using the plan mode. Please make sure you use the plan mode initially when you are giving your first prompt to build something or actually directly executing some task, because that will give you the understanding how Claude can execute it, and it will save a lot of token and time for you. And definitely it will help you as actively involved in the decision making with Claude, so that if you feel something is not working for you in terms of quality, in terms of the plan, structure, output, you will be able to edit it and ask Claude to replan it, edit the plan before executing anything. This is very important. When we talk about trying to build everything in one, don't do this. Don't try to automate your entire life on a single weekend. Use one by one. That's why when we build this research agent, we didn't ask it to email the report. We didn't ask it to dig the LinkedIn or any other thing. We just build the research report based on the internet data or the report that are available on the internet. This is important because when you're building or getting started, if you complicate or do too many things at the time, for sure that will be not helping you achieve the quality of the output. So you can focus on the one thing at a time initially, just for initial things. Now, keeping all workflow in the same folder, this is the important thing, because just imagine if you're using it for 100 times and you don't define this, Claude is not sure where it will save it, and it will be difficult for you to find all the reports. So structure of this folder is very important. You can read the agent to-do list that I've shown you. It help you what it is doing, what it is working on. It keep you very actively involved and also help you learn how Claude is thinking. When output isn't right, mention that specific thing and don't ask Claude to build it from scratch. If you mention that, like fix that particular thing, it won't start over, and that will again save the credit and time. And save your best Claude.md file and workflow, copy them into the project starting. This is, I've said, like whatever you build here is like a plug and play agent for you, a template for you. You can pick them and put it in a personal agent. You can pick them, put it in your social media agent. You can pick them and build it, put it in your deck creation project, right? The research part, that's the core thing for everything. Whatever you build, you can put it there. Similarly, for the new agents or automation that you will build. However, any previous message Okay, so for example, if I changed this, right? For example, here was a part where I asked it to change the length of this sweets. If you remember, if I don't want that, I want it again. So I will just simply say roll back, or I would be saying just here there is a task also. Okay, I'm not able to find that. So there was something. What you can simply do is every time when you want to, if you feel you've taken a wrong step, ask Claude to redo the previous step, and you would be able to get the old thing back. As simple as that. And this is again important. So if you feel you are doing something very complex, then you can adjust this. Efforts are low if you're doing something very simple task, medium if you're on an intermediate level task, high if you're doing something very complex, and max if you do max, high or intermediate. This will reflect in the amount of token it is consuming in a single chat or session, because it is doing its best to think thorough on the given task to make sure when you're using this, it will also reflect on your token. That's why I feel intermediate or high, medium or high is sufficient unless you're doing something very crazy complex. For example, if I'm writing high with a low, the amount of token is very less, because with high, there is a hidden set of instruction that Claude is generating for itself and putting it to AI. This is there. And now on a closing note, when we are closing this, you can try to find one single thing or two things in this weekend that you individually build or try to automate. That will be your active learning. You might have seen lot of tutorial attended, might have lot of master classes, but if you don't take the first step to build the first AI agent or automation, that won't help you get ahead and get comfortable building new things. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.